Hey, yeah, I'm back, my reactors, with chapter 6 of Redbone. Chloe, what the fuck are you talking? What the fuck are you doing? I'ma tell Mom. Farrah. Let's go. Farrah held the lime lemon juice jug to her lips, stuck her pink tongue through the spout, and guzzled as much as she could in one breath, stopping for only a moment. She did it 3 more times before realizing she drank half of her mother's juice. If Brownie didn't play one thing... Hold on for a minute. EJ! You got an extra lighter because I'm tired of going back and forth down the steps. Well, give me a lighter. I need a lighter. Okay. If Brownie didn't play one thing, it was someone fucking with her shit. Whenever she went to the market and used her food stamps on the first of the month, she would warn her children against eating and drinking anything within the first few days. Her words always fell on deaf ears, and when the fridge was void of snacks, they often spent hours begging for her, despite the answers always being no. Noticing her white t-shirt was covered with three green drops from the jug, she knew she would have to cover her tracks before Brownie came home. Farrah looked at the kitchen entrance, and when she was sure no one was coming, she turned the cold water on and placed the jug under the faucet. She filled it with water until she felt it was in the right place. A lighter green than it was before she got her paws on it. She put it back in the fridge. When Farrah was about to pass her grandmother, who was sitting on the couch soaking her feet, she was stopped. What were you doing in that kitchen, child? You got a guilty look on your face and a few green spots on your shirt. You wasn't drinking your mother's stuff now, were you? Farrah choked back her guilt, covering her stains, and said, "No, I'm about to see what Chloe's doing." She smiled. "I'll be right back, Grandma." Rushing away from her, she opened the door to her room, knowing she needed to change her shirt. Chloe was sitting on the bed with her back facing the door. "What you doing, Chloe?" Chloe hopped up, and a tin can once used for cookie fell out of her lap and clanked to the wooden floor. Dry blood was smeared all over her outfit, and she looked petrified. "What's that red stuff?" "Nothing, why?" she asked, as if she'd been caught doing the devil's work. "I was just playing with stuff." She looked at the floor. "Leave me alone." Farrah stepped further into the room. "I sleep in here too." When she was next to Chloe, she finally saw what was in the can, and she wanted to run. Chloe had severed the heads of 2 dead rats, as if she were performing some type of sick surgery. "Chloe, what the fuck are you doing? I'ma tell Mom." Chloe rushed up to her and said, "Shh. Please don't say nothing. I won't do it again, I promise." Farrah looked down at the dead rodents and felt something strange come over her. The feeling was so awkward that she backed up towards the door just to get away. And when she turned around, she ran into her mother. Chloe had her mind so fucked up that she didn't hear her come inside the house. Brownie was angry and appeared to be directed at Farrah. "What y'all in here doing now?" She looked at Chloe and then Farrah. "I heard you all the way in the living room." She went through the leather purse hanging from her shoulders. "Nothing. Farrah said, just playing." "Well, who the fuck drank my juice and put water in it?" Farrah's body started trembling. "I told y'all about drinking my shit, didn't I?" Brownie removed a pack of cigarettes from her purse, lit one, and blew the smoke into the air. "Well, which one of y'all touched my shit?" she asked, talking to them both but looking directly at Fur. Fur was overcome with the dead rest and the fact that her mother was asking her if she drank her juice as if she already knew. If she told the truth, since her father wasn't home, she was positive Brownie would do her harm, even though she could count on her hands the number of times she'd done it. Although she was never the subject of her violence, it didn't matter. Brownie name rang bells in the streets, and her crimes caused more stitches than 50 handmade quilts. Mia did it. She was in here early and I saw her. Brownie didn't believe her, but until she talked to Mia, she didn't have proof. I better not find out you're lying. If I do, I'ma fuck you up. Brownie pointed in her face. Now clean up this room. I'ma take a bath and then prepare dinner. When she walked out, Fur turned around to face Chloe, who had already cleaned up the carnage on the floor. Why did you do that? That's so gross, she whispered. I don't know. I do it all the time. I guess I like it. Chloe shrugged. Walking towards the door with the can. It's not a big deal, though. Relax. She walked around her and out the room. Wondering how she could get out of the lie she told on Mia, Fur walked back to the living room. Once again, Elise stopped her. Come over here, girl. Come over here and sit next to me. Fur walked slowly to her grandmother. Steam rose out the pot Elise's toes were soaking in and carried with it a scent similar to corn chips. Oh, my God. Sit down on the couch. Fur sat next to her. Why did you lie to your mother just now? Fur looked at the TV and said, I didn't lie. Fur, I saw the juice on your shirt, she said softly. Baby, you have to be careful how you act. Lying and hurting people is the wrong way to live. And you're going to have a tough life if you don't recognize that now. I'm talking about total chaos all the time. Excuse me, y'all. She touched her softly on the knee. You're learning a lot of lessons you shouldn't be from your parents. And I know it's hard, but I'm still here for you. But I didn't do it, Fur said, wishing she just shut the fuck up. Fur, when you get older, maybe I'll tell you why your mother's so angry with you and focus on what people think about how she looks. I will tell you now, if I didn't think it would be so heavy. For now, I'm just going to make sure you kids don't go down the same path they are. That road don't lead to nothing but trouble. When there was a heavy knock at the door, Chloe came running out wearing a change of clothes to answer it. Fur was relieved because her grandma's words of wisdom were weighing on her more than a sack of potatoes on her head. A few seconds later, Chloe said, Fur, that popular girl is here to see you. She want to know if you can come outside. The sun was nowhere to be found, and it looked as if it would rain as Fur sat on the steps of her building. It was the perfect type of weather for her. When Chloe told her Coconut was there, she almost didn't believe her. But since Coconut and her crew barely spoke to her, she wondered why they bothered. The way they looked at her scarred face and carried on conversation without her made her uncomfortable. So she preoccupied herself with small pebbles by throwing them towards the wire fence. She saw a local drug dealer named Randy Gregory standing in the doorway of the building across from hers, holding a bag. He looked around before exiting and approached a white Yukon. What's that? Throwing the bag inside the back of his truck, he was approached by an angry man, and Randy walked his way. Whatever was going on, it didn't look nice. Although Randy was 6 years older than her, she had a crush on him like no other. His smooth dark skin and low haircut remind her of Usher, except he never noticed her. Randy would wear all the latest fashion and kept a fresh pair of tennis shoes on at all times. A gold chain hung from his neck with a sign that read Randy Ran. We're going to have so much fucking fun when we go to the Virginia Beach, Coconut said, louder than before. You sure your mother won't let you go, Fur? Some cute boy's going to be there, too. Fur stopped throwing rocks and looked at her. This was the first time she acknowledged her since she asked if she could come out 15 minutes earlier. I know you missed my sleepover, but this is going to be even better. What's going to be happening at the beach? Coconut looked at her friends and fell out laughing. We're going to be on the sand getting tans and stuff like that. Also, we're going to get finger fucked by cute boys. Fur thought about the illness the doctor said she had, which required a lot of medicine that never seemed to work. Since she couldn't pronounce the terms he used properly, she'd say porpia. He explained that she could be stricken with it her entire life. Under no circumstances, he explained, was she to be exposed to strong chemicals in the sun. Out of the entire family, her condition was surely the worst. I gotta ask my mother. She looked at all of them and could see their irritation. She might say yes. If your mother won't let you hang out with us, we can't be friends, Rhonda said. We only roll with girls who can do what they want. Stop coming down on her, Coconut said, walking up to Fur. She sat on the step next to her and pulled a joint out of her pocket. Fur examined a small white roll. You want to hit this with us in your basement? Fur didn't want to do drugs, but she already disappointed Coco, so she said, I guess so. She wanted to go to the bathroom first because she could feel a tingy sensation pausing between her legs. I'm going to use the bathroom first. Later for that, Coconut said, putting her arms around her. You could do that after we're done. Leading the way, Fur and the girls walked down the steps and into the dark, musty basement. She could hear rusty pipes dripping water on the floor. The thought of bugs crawling on her made her nervous. She was about to go to the laundry room when Coconut said, Don't y'all have a storage room down here? Fur knew the place well. It was where she seen Mia get fucked by her boyfriend when she followed her last month. While being nosy, a spider dropped on her upper lips and sent her into a panic, which ended in her being hospitalized for a month. It was the longest stink yet and gave her another phobia. She finally made it to the storage room door, but when she looked behind her, the girl stopped. We going in. You're not going in nowhere, somebody said. Fur turned around and faced the voice, Shannon, Wendy, and Noah. Fur turned around and faced the voice. Shannon, Wendy, and Noah walked out of the darkness and into the path. Their hard facial expression was serious as they slapped their fists into the palms of their hands. You told Coconut I talked about her at school? Shannon asked, ready to drop her on the floor. I'm gonna fuck your ass up for lying on me. When Fur turned around, she bumped into Coconut and her friends, who formed a human wall that blocked her escape. She walked right into a setup and she was ill prepared. Tell her what you said, she said, at the school that day. Coconut said, if you ain't lying, it shouldn't be a problem for you to say it to her face. This wasn't what she thought would happen when Coconut knocked on her door. Her chest moved up and down and she felt an outbreak coming on. Turning around, she pushed past the girls and ran upstairs and out of the building, running aimlessly for a moment. Eventually, she hid on the side of the adjoining building. From her viewpoint, she could see all the girls, with the exception of Coconut and Rhonda, running around outside looking for her. She reasoned the other two were waiting in the building, so she couldn't go home right now. Fur knew it was a matter of time before they found her, so when she didn't see the girls outside anymore, she ran towards Randy's truck, praying to God it was open. When she tugged at the back door handle, it clicked and she jumped inside, closing the door behind her. Luckily, a large blue moving blanket covered 3 bags on the back seat. She lifted the cloth, curled her body between the middle of the 2 bags, and covered up. From under the sheet, she could hear the girls running back and forth outside, trying to find her. She'd never been more scared in her life. 15 minutes later, when she heard someone open the door, she prayed it wasn't them. Please don't let them get me. If you don't, God, I promise not to lie anymore. She lied again. When the engine started and the car moved, she exhaled. Fur was fine until she realized she was being driven away from home. Things were getting worse by the second, and she had no doubt her parents were going to flip the fuck out. After she came in the house that day from sitting on the roof, they demanded she come in before the street lights come on. Whenever she was allowed out, she had no idea how she was going to get out of the truck or where Randy was driving. 5 minutes into the ride, Fur began to feel hot as if she'd been running all day. A few minutes after that, she was full of energy and felt an extreme need to move. She inhaled the remnants of bags stored in a drug house. When the car stopped moving, she waited for his car door to close so she could run away. But when the cover was raised, the tip of a gun was resting on her nose. She knew it was too late. What the fuck are you doing under there? Fur sat up and tears rolled down her face. I was hiding. Some girls were going to jump me. Her eyes rolled around. She was sweating profusely. Randy knew immediately she caught a contact from the bag. I just want to go home. The moment she opened her mouth, he knew she was high. Randy Gregory was a runner for his father. Willie Gregory was already having a bad week. Recently, his girlfriend was kidnapped and murdered by 2 men looking for him. And the day his father had, in no uncertain terms, said he would be nothing but an errand boy. Now he had to... Wait a minute, y'all. The TV keep going blank. Now he had to deal with a girl who was high from sniffing his drugs. Normally, he would not have been caught slipping by leaving his door unlocked. But then Willie called him back for the bullshit. It threw him off his game. If he had been more careful, he wouldn't have had to deal with her. Randy opened the door, grabbed the bags, and said, come inside. I can't take you home until you come down off that shit. Come down where? Just get the fuck out. Fur eased out the car and followed him to a nice-sized home. She had no idea what she was, but she hoped he wasn't a pedophile or a serial murderer. Once inside, she marveled at how bright everything was. The color was dominant, and that includes the drapes, leather couch, and plush company. Oh, y'all. Okay. I'm almost finished this chapter. Randy closed and locked the door and placed the duffel bag on the table. Ma, I'm home, he yelled towards the back. When Helen Gregory walked into the living room wearing a cream silk pants pajama set, which looked so elegant it could be worn outside, Fur felt inferior. She was extremely beautiful and favored her mother, Brownie. Helen was dipped in diamonds and gold, and her long hair brushed against the side of her ebony face, holding a glass of cognac in one hand and a cigarette in the other. She looked at the scarred child hoovering in her living room corner. Placing her drink on the table and mashing her cigarette in the ashtray, her white feather high-heeled slippers click-clack in Fur's direction. Before I forget, honey, she said, looking at Randy, the nursing home called and said you can volunteer again next week if you want. Thanks, Ma. I'll call them tomorrow. Standing over her, she said, now, what do we have here? She looked at her son. You didn't tell me you had company. From the kitchen, Randy said, oh, yeah, Pops fucked my head up and I accidentally left my shit open. The bitch hid in my truck. He placed a brick of cocaine on the table. I think some bras were after her or some shit like that. I'm going to take her home in an hour. He looked at her as if she were a pest. She caught a contact from my coat and got high. I ain't want to take her back to Usher like that. He focused back on the brick. I don't feel like killing that dude. Fur had to piss so bad now she could barely hold it, but she was scared to ask to use the bathroom. Helen placed her soft hands on her chin and lifted up. You know, you would be a pretty red thing if your face wasn't so spotty. She looked at Randy. You should keep her around. When she gets older, she can give you all kinds of yellow babies. She released her. That's a kid, Mom. Why would you even say that? She got to be about 12 or 13, Helen continued. 5 years are going to fly by, and before you know it, she'll be having her period. What's your name, girl? Forever, she swallowed, placing her hands between her legs to pause the urge to piss. Fur Cotton. Well, Fur, get something for that face. You too young to look so hard. On to another door. Helen turned to Randy and said, was that white bitch Eleanor around your father today? She picked up her drink and lit another cigarette. All she trying to do is steal my husband. Mom, I don't know about all that. I just need you to cook this shit so we can make this the drop off. Helen rolled her eyes. Take your father's side if you want to, but I'm sure he'll stab you in the back just like he's doing me before long. She paused. Let me go freshen up and then I'll start working on him. When she disappeared into the house, Randy asked, you hungry, thirsty? Since she unconsciously sniffed cocaine in his truck, she completely lost her appetite. No, but I gotta go to the bathroom real bad. She started moving around in place, pressing her legs between her legs. Can I? Yeah, it's around the corner, he pointed. Hurry up back, because I'm gonna feed you anyway before I drop you off. Fur rushed towards the bathroom, trying her best not to make any jerk motions, which could cause her to piss in her clothes, a fear of hers. When she opened the door, she was surprised to see Helen standing in the shower, naked from the waist down. She was squatting and holding a pink douche bag between her legs. The bedroom was heavy with the scent of cigarette resting on the edge of the sink and the vinegar in her bag. The vinegar in the bag. What you looking at, girl? Helen said. You never saw a woman douche before? Fur shook her head. Well, what you want then? I'm busy. I gotta pee. Well, come on in. She squeezed the bag a few times. I'm not going to be much longer anyway. Fur walked to the toilet, lifted the lid, and sat sideways on the cold seat to prevent facing Helen. When the urine poured out her body, she exhaled. For the moment, it was the best feeling in the world. I don't know why, Helen said, removing the tube connected to the bag from the inside of her pussy, but I got a feeling you're going to be my son's wife. Fur remained silent and focused on the lit cigarette on the sink. Make sure you take care of your body. When you do, get him, she said, screwing off the tube and resting them under the tube faucet. Men love a woman with a clean pussy and a pretty face. She stepped out of the tub and eased into her silk pajama pants and slippers. I don't know why your skin's so bad, but if you don't do nothing, you better take care of your looks. It's all you got in life. Helen opened the medicine cabinet, pulled out a pack of razors, and removed one. Without washing her hands and while Fur was still on the toilet, she said, open your mouth. She did. Keep this in your mouth. She stuffed it on the inside of her cheeks. But whenever you're about to fight or you think you may be in trouble, put this between your teeth and your cheeks like I did. Now close your mouth. Fur was nervous as hell as she would get cut. Whenever somebody fuck with you, slice them 50 times across the neck or the temples and your problems will be over. I will be back with chapter 7, y'all. And it starts off, dear God, please be with that child. I'm begging you, Elise. Buy my reactors.